Chapter 28. Seer rose in a panic.
Whoa! Whoa!
Elder Medic Steady pressed him back onto the healing table with firm hands. Kaci, where's Kaci? The old man frowned.
Kaci.
My mate. The human female. He scowled, shaking his head. Medic Steady wouldn't have a clue where she was.
Ah.
The old man said.
Kaci, your female with the rewire contagion. I looked at her files. Fascinating stuff. You'll be glad to know that she isn't contagious. However, I concluded the same as you. She'll never be free of it. We'll be able to keep it at bay, but only with regular treatment from a specialist in...
Medic. He sat fully up, forcing the old man back. Where is she? His gray brows drew together in his familiar expression of disbelief.
Be logical, son. I've barely finished the first level of your healing. If you don't remain in the healing bed, you'll be bleeding out again with the slightest trauma.
Seer stood, then half fell back onto the bed. The old man caught his arm, but after a moment, Seer shrugged him off. I'm fine.
You're not. Now lie down.
Unable to help himself, he grasped the old man's arm. You speak of your bride as if the moon rises only for the love of her. What would you do if she was in trouble? The old man held his gaze for a minute, then sighed, running his fingers through his short gray hair.
Fine, you convincing bastard. Get up and be a hero. Just get back here in time for me to patch you up.
Seer felt a rush of gratitude. Now I need only to find her. The old man nodded, then glanced out the small window of the private metaria. Outside the windows, every bed was lined with an injured female or male.
I can help, if only for a moment.
Help?
I can pinpoint her location.
Seer stared, gratitude and confusion rushing over him in a wave. How? I mean, yes, please, right away. Medic Steady went to his comm station, his hands waving through the golden nanobots.
This has to be our little secret, but when we take their blood sample, we also inject them with a tracker. It doesn't work for long distances, but it should help us now.
What? You track them? He frowned.
Well, they are only humans. It's really for their protection.
Seer snorted. He'd have to deal with that later. After a minute, the old man frowned.
This can't be right.
What? Seer pushed himself farther from the table, trying to see what the medic saw. The old man turned around, his markings moving in an uncharacteristic display of uncontrolled emotions. She isn't on this vessel anymore. According to this, she's inside one of the small Bortrak warships, almost inside the mothership. Seer's heart stopped. No. Racing from the room, he sprinted up the stairs, winding and winding. When he reached the right floor, he turned to the private docking bay. The massive room held only 3 vessels. He hurried past Leader's large ship and chose a tiny one. With his hands on the silver oval, the ship responded to him, propelling him out of the docking bay and into open space. Around him, more female ships were rushing toward the Bortrak mothership. Orange flashes of light came around him, followed by explosions of the tiny ships. He focused his attention on the Bortrak mothership, surrounded by the female's tinier crafts. A second later, fire poured from the mothership's docking bay, and fiery cracks spread throughout the surface of the vessel. The female's ships fled from it in a haste, but he willed himself to move closer. To reach Kaci before the ship, it exploded, fiery massive pieces shooting out in every direction. His own small ship was hit by a wave, rolled over, and spun. When at last he stopped the ship from spinning and turned back to the mothership, his heart in his throat. All that remained of the vessel was a field of debris. Kaci. It couldn't be. It's impossible. After everything he had done to protect her, she couldn't have died. Parsimon's ship came into view from where it was hiding far behind the Bortrak ship. He saw the blue flash of its weapons charging. But he didn't care. It was only fitting that after failing to protect his bride, he would lose his life too. He closed his eyes, pain like nothing he'd ever imagined consuming his heart, and waited for death.